but actually, it's interesting. And Holly, you're a woman. You tell me if this is a good or a bad idea. Like I was thinking with Sheryl, like I've known her for 30 years. Like, and I wanted to say, like, have I ever been like a creep or jerk, in any way? Because I realized, like, even the conventions of TV, which I work in, like, people used to, I think in my remembrance of TV, like intros of women would always go, she's a beautiful something. It's like as if they were in a beauty contest. And I'm like, did I ever do anything like that? I want to see if I did anything stupid ever, if I was ever a jerk.
That alone is not jerky. Although Dave and I have talked about this a lot because oftentimes we do say and she looks amazing and she looks and I want to now take out all references to somebody's physical appearance because it's not what we want to focus on. I don't think it's jerky, and I don't think if you ever said it in the past, and she is, oh my God, she is amazing, Sheryl Crow, I mean.
Yes.
I don't think it would have been perceived that way, but now I don't think it's appropriate to make a reference to it. Well, I know it's not.
The interesting thing I'm going to want to ask her about also is because I have known her so long for so well, I realized, and I haven't seen the documentary I'm going to watch tonight, but I read articles about it where she talks about like the price she's paid for being nice. And I realized, like, I have in my work career watched the price she's paid for being nice. Like, I remember, like, she has, like, when I have asked her to come through and be on TV shows or charity events and things, she, like Brad Paisley, you can add another dollar, she is someone who always shows up. Like, she will be there for you. And I realized, and then I've had some of the same people who've asked her to show up go, oh man, she's always showing up for everything. And I'm like, she shows up for everything that you asked her to show up for. You can't penalize someone for doing what you begged them to do. Right. That's like, and I've seen her show up for things like when she was battling cancer. I worked with her. I remember really vividly one year at the Grammys when she was going through, I think, the breakup with Lance Armstrong and cancer. She came through. If you asked her and it was a reasonable thing, she would try, and it just made me realize. And then, like, I will tell you, this is like how podcasts can actually inform you. Like, I was around her from like when I met her, I went soon after that, she had me over to A&M Records to play me her new record. It was a record that never came out. If you remember, she stopped a record. She made Hugh Padgham produced a record for her, and she didn't like it, and she played it for me. I think I might be one of the nights she realized, I don't want this album out. Like, I want to start over because, and I, because it was like.
Now that's hard to do if you're listening with her in the room. That's a tough thing. And did you know that she didn't like it, or did she say, I like to play something for you?
I'm going to ask her this next week when we sit down again. But my memory is that we both were like, wow, that's because it was really produced. And it was very sort of like, Hugh Padgham made her kind of a police record with her. And then that's, I think, what happened. She then went off and said, fresh start, and did the Tuesday Night Music Club. But then again, I realized her niceness was taken against her because, again, I've never known her to be anything but fair and generous and kind and good. And like, I've flown with her where she's with her kids. She's a great mom. She's just amazing. And yet, if you remember, after Tuesday Night Music Club, there was all this sort of like anti-Sheryl Crow whisper campaign from some of the guys that I think one in particular is saying she stole credit and I now believe, from what I've read, absolutely none of that was true. I mean, not only her subsequent brilliant career has proven that wasn't true, but I believe that I have figured out who was saying all that shit. And I heard them on a podcast recently and realized, oh yeah, they're out of their fucking mind. Like they're a lunatic conspiracy theory nutcase. And so they found a way to make that success story ugly. And thus someone as nice as Sheryl Crow gets, has to take shit again. It just, so I'm fascinated to have this catch up with her, so much so that I'm doing the interview with you. I don't know why.
Yeah. Can we sit on this? Okay. So she doesn't say no. So you have to give us her email so we can get her on the podcast.
Hold on. She just said no. That's what? Right, Carl. Breakthrough.
Oh,
Okay. We probably couldn't because I might be. She is one of my favorite artists.
the way
of
I feel
all
about Susanna
time.
Hoffs is, yeah, that's how Holly feels about Sheryl
Yeah.
Crow.